Okay. And we are so blessed today. Our Reverend Tim has handpicked two of our congregants to tag team today's message. The very first speaker is Greg Campbell. If you could please stand and wave to our love streamers so they can see you. He is one of our sound engineers. And for those of us who are on stage, when we look out at the sound booth, he is holding the highest intention for this service. We know those love vibes are going out and impacting the world. And he is a wonderful father to his beloved daughter, London. Thank you for saying yes today, Greg. And our second speaker today is Ryan Souza. Now, if any of us has heard his voice, we know he has a powerful, angelic voice straight from heaven. He is a man that embodies the spirit of love and sings from his heart, and he is changing the world one song at a time. He is a wonderful father to his beloved daughter, Rain. Thank you for saying yes today, Ryan. Oh, okay.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? This is my second time today, and I feel better than I did earlier. I'm with family. I'm with aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, dads, mothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, and greats throughout all of us. I just want to say thank you to Reverend Tim for seeing something in me that I didn't really see. He came up to me at the end of Mother's Day service and was like, hey, Greg, what do you think about doing Father's Day? Engineering? I think I'm off. But he's like, no, I would like you to speak. And so I was like, oh, that's not engineering. And so I told him I'd think about it, and I thought about it, and I know London comes up here like every week, and she does it. And my wife, she performs regularly, and she does it. So I can do it. I know I can. So thank you, guys. And thank you, Reverend Tim. I know you looking at me right now. And he was like, oh, all right. I'd like to say thank you to the Board of Trustees for being open to us being us and giving us love and supporting us to do what we do best, love. So thank you, Board of Trustees. And most importantly, I would like to thank the Almighty Father Jah for giving me the strength to stand right here with these two legs of mine and the strength to hold this mic firm in my hand and to be present with you guys. So thank you, Jah. I appreciate it. So my talk is about Father's Day, obviously, and I have some key things that that touches me during this whole fatherhood experience. So I'm just gonna list it out. It's just easier that way. I got bullets, so I'm gonna give you guys bullets. So having compassion on children, with children, for children. The second bullet is children are a blessing. And the third bullet is, because I only have 10 minutes, setting a good example. And so those are the three things that I've learned through fatherhood in the last 8 years. I'm kind of new to this. All right, so, okay. So my first bullet, having compassion with the children. It's so important for us to be compassionate with the children. And we all are children, and we all have to go through this transition. But they went through that transition that's pretty extreme, as we all did, is birth. and they come out crying. Because it's a transition. We all go through transitions, and some of us cry when we go through these transitions. And so as fathers, it's important for us to help the children to go through all of these transitions, to help things kind of flow, and help them to learn and guide them and give them the strength that they need. And most importantly, the love of just nurturing them for them to overcome the hurdle that they're trying to leap. And as fathers, it's one of the funnest, I'm not supposed to say that word, but the funnest, because I'm a kid at heart, experience to have, because they're really easy to help through these transitions. The trick is fun. And so as long as you're having fun with the kids, regardless, the transitions will be smooth. My next thing is, my next bullet, second bullet, is children are a blessing. They're guided, they're well taken care of by everything around us, because God is everywhere. And so they already have the intuition, and it's up to us to kind of nurture that intuition in them, to keep them clear and keep them pure as water. And so we're the Brita filters for the children, So it's the water comes through, we're like, all right, we can't have that in our water. Let's push that to the side and try to give them the cleanest water as possible. Because if that water does get contaminated, you're still going to love them, and you're going to have to filter it, and it's just a little bit harder to filter that water already. And so the kids are amazing, and they're just already guided. Jesus said in Mark 10:14, "Let the children come to me, do not hinder them, for to such belongs the kingdom of God." We got to be able to give them that love so they can continue to love and follow their good heart, so they can continue making good decisions. The next one is setting a good example. I chose that one because it just sounded like it was the easiest to talk about. So setting a good example explains itself. All I have to do is be my best me, Try to do the good things and be a good example. I used this example at the first service, and it was just crossing the street, I'm a dad. I've been crossing streets for years, and I don't need a crosswalk, But if my daughter sees me crossing that street without the crosswalk, she's going to feel the same way, like, oh, I've been seeing my dad cross the street for years or a year or two. I'm just going to cross it the same way. Even though that's not the safest way, we got to show our children how to be safe and thoughtful. So it's important for me as a dad to lead by example and use the crosswalk so she could be safe as she travels through this wonderful planet Earth. And it's simple and it's easy, but we take these things for granted and we forget about it, and we're always rushing. Like, I'm a dad. I'm moving, I'm doing 100 things at once, I'm trying to save the world. Dad power, right? But we tend to take shortcuts sometimes, and those shortcuts could hurt us. So we have all the time in the world, and time is just an illusion. So why don't we just take the time, walk together through the crosswalk, because it's the right thing to do, and I want to be a good example. And that's just one out of many. So those were my 3 bullets that I really wanted to touch on because it really makes me strong as a father, and it really touches me as a father. Like, it stuck. And so I really work very hard to make sure that I have fun with my daughter all the time, even when it is homework time or brushing your teeth if you don't feel like it. But we're going to get through it together, because it's not going to be just brushing your teeth. It's going to be the greatest experience. Let's turn the lights off. Let's turn on the dimmer light in the bathroom. Let's get some bubblegum toothpaste. We're going to enjoy this experience, and we're going to get it done regardless. I said like 100 times, but it's going to be okay because I'm with family. Thank you guys for being patient with me. I said it again. Throughout my 8 years experience of fatherhood, those things were the most important. Those touched me a lot. And they're so simple. This fatherhood thing is a mind-blowing experience. And it is just, I'm just thankful to be able to have an amazing wife that could help me to be a better husband, which also makes me a better father. And I would like to thank London, because she makes it easy. She is great. And that's because the teamwork it takes for me and my wife and the rest of you guys. You guys shower us with love all the time. And I appreciate you guys a lot. And I'm happy that fatherhood helped me to get to this point, because I worked really, really hard to make sure that all is well. And I am learning that I don't have to work that hard. I just got to do these simple things to make sure that we stay on our golden path, and we will get to where we're going eventually, but we could do this together. And so I just want to say thank you. I'm new to this, and I appreciate you guys for taking the time to hear me on Father's Day, and thank you to the Almighty. I really appreciate you guys. Mahalo.
It's like track, passing the baton. Stick. Aloha. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Thank you to Tim and also to the board for allowing us to be here to speak and give our interpretation of what it is to be fathers. And earlier in the service, or earlier in this morning's service, when I first got up here, I made the statement that everyone can be a father. It doesn't mean that you'll be a good man, but if you focus on being a good man, then you're going to be a great father. And this is a lifelong work, a work that we start from when we're being molded by our parents, when we're starting to understand and learn what it is that we need to apply to our lives for us to become better people. And the only way that we're able to share that light that Greg so amazingly illuminates is beautiful. I love that light. And that's the life that the light that we seek after, the light that we need to share with our children. Now, being a father, in its simple terms, in the definition of what a father is a man in relation to his natural child or children. That's as simple as the definition can get. When we become fathers, there's no handbook that's handed out at the hospital to say, here, this is the things that you must learn, or the rules that you have to abide by. We have to learn those as we go. And that, again, comes in the form of the people, the village, of what Greg also alluded to was we all being a part of that village helping to raise our child, but nobody hands out that handbook to say this is what it is to be a great father. This is what it is to raise your child in the ways of God so that they can do tremendous work in their lives. Nobody does that. We have to trust in the work that we do. I have a beautiful 8-year-old as well. A beautiful 8-year-old who's learning life, who I think every day is here to teach me, not for me to teach her. As much as I'm her father and it's meant for me to be her guide through life and to be her provider and what have you, the lessons I learn from her is incredible. Incredible. It teaches me to be a better man. It teaches me to be a strong man. I cannot go through my adulthood thinking that I've learned everything and that all I can do is teach. Because if we walk that way, if any of us here walk that way, man, we've short-sighted. We've become short-sighted. We've clipped our own wings in believing that there's so much more to ourselves. And that's what I want for my daughter, for her to know that she can spread her wings and she can fly and she can soar and she can become everything that she wants to be because I believe in her. Because I believe, and therefore she's going to believe that she can fly, that she can create, that she can change lives. Her middle name is Hope, and I was telling the story earlier of how we came to that name, and that I knew Christina was pregnant before Christina even knew she was pregnant. I just knew it. I had a feeling that there was something else there's another spirit attached to Christina now. And I knew it, and I would ask her every day for weeks, "Are you pregnant?" "No, I'm not pregnant." "Are you pregnant?" So the weeks went by, and finally I came home from work one day, and she opened the door, and I was like, "Christina, you're pregnant." And she's like, "Ryan, for the 50th time, I'm not pregnant." And then she held up her pregnancy test, and she was pregnant. And she's like, "I don't know how you knew." I said, "I don't know how I knew either, except that I feel whatever that spirit is that's in you. I prayed long and hard for the spirit to be in you. I prayed that God would send this beautiful angel to our lives." And here came rain. What did I say earlier? Here comes the rain. I didn't even know I said that earlier. That was so funny. So when Rain was born, my mother, who has already passed away, but she called me and she said, "Ryan, I think I'm really feeling this calling that you should name your daughter Hope." And I said, "Oh, that's beautiful, Mom. Hope is a beautiful name." The next day, Christina's sister called from Kauai and said, "Ryan, you should name your daughter Lana Kamana'o," which means thoughts rising to heaven, which also means hope. So we knew that was her name. Hope. My job as a father is to protect her, to be her protector, to be her guide through life. And then as she lives and grows and is able to feel what I feel and able to see God in the way that I want her to, I let her go. That's our whole mission as parents. And it's not just the fathers, the mothers have to come to that same conclusion as well. That there's so much more to their lives than we'll ever know. But our job as their keiki, as their little ones growing up to be strong adults, is to protect them, guide them, make sure that we're walking a path. Show them what is wrong too with the world. Show them the things that are hurtful. Show them the things that are deceitful. In the end, ultimately, they make their own decision as they become adults. But if I do my job well, I don't worry about Rain's future. I don't worry about who she becomes or, what she does, the family that she has, the husband she chooses. I don't worry about any of that. And I was crying quite a bit in the earlier service because my daughter was here and because my ex-wife was here as well. And just sharing those stories really, really hit home. And one of the things that I've read that makes it such a poignant example of what my mission is as a parent comes from The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. And I'm going to read through the passage and then break it down a little bit at the end of what my interpretation of this passage is. And it's a passage on children. So in this book, the prophet is leaving after spending 12 years with this community and building bridges with this community, and his ship is finally coming back to take him home. So on his way, in preparation to leave, the village is sad. And they come to him asking him all kinds of questions about life. And so one of the mothers comes to him, and she, with her child in her hand, and she asks him, well, what about children? What can you tell us about children? And this is what he says. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backwards nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. I need a Kleenex. Thank you. Just take that whole bunch right there. I got it. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as he loves the arrow that flies, he also loves the bow that is stable. My interpretation, the arrow is my responsibility. The arrow becomes that perfect arrow if I make the right choices in my life, if I choose the correct wood with enough stability, with enough flexibility, so that it can fly far. I choose the right feathers for this arrow so that it can fly straight. I choose the right head of the arrow so that it can pierce anything. That's my responsibility. At the same time, I'm the bow that's made by the archer. And I have to trust that the archer made me into the man that I'm meant to be, so that I can be strong enough to send my daughter as far as she needs to go. But I have to have trust in the archer being God, being that spiritual entity which gives you that fortitude, that strength, that perseverance in life. To me, that archer is at my side, is within me, flows through me. Every word that I sing is not my words. So if I trust in this archer, I know that my arrow will be powerful. I know that my bow will send her far. To me, that's what it is to be a father. But that's also what it is to be a mother. It's not just the father's responsibility. It's also the mother's responsibility to do that as well. But as in the Aramaic of the Lord's Prayer, It's not gender specific. It doesn't say that the fathers do this and the mothers do that. No, we together, it's necessary for us together to work hard so that our children can be that light, so that our lives can be blessed. None of it is gender specific. If we believe in the same Archer, then we have the same responsibility. And that's the blessing that I choose to share today, is what is our purpose in life? What is our truth? Is to be the best people that we can be, as Greg said earlier too, to be the best father or the best man that he can be in order for his daughter to learn that she has an amazing father. And I hope that my daughter knows that she has an amazing father that loves her deeply. There's a song that Kuili wrote in the 1960s. And it's called Days of My Youth. And within this song, he captures the story of himself as a child who wants to play and wants to soar, a child with many, many dreams. But there comes a point when the child becomes an adult, and many of the dreams that he had as a child was not realized. And so he, in turn, looks to his child. And now, instead of having his child start to dream, he wants his child to have fun as a child, to not get too far ahead of herself or himself, to know that your childhood is a blessing from God and enjoy it. I'll be there to watch you. I'll be there to help train you how to ride a two-wheel bike or climb a tree. And when the time comes for you to fly, then fly. I dedicate this to all of you, fathers and mothers. This is our story. He used to fly like a bird on the wings of the wind. I played in the sun with a joy deep within. I had laughter as a toy and a sweet for my tooth in the beautiful days of my youth. Everyone that I met was a friend, not a foe. The fears I had learned way back then I didn't know. Not one deed meant unkind, or one thought uncouth in the beautiful days of my youth. But time swiftly passed, the years traveled on, the hopes and the dreams have diminished and gone. Now the child that I face, how familiar she seems. She's wearing my eyes, and she's living my dreams. Oh, my innocent child, I will spare the untruths in the magical days the sweet candy days, the beautiful days of your youth. Listen, this is for you. But time quickly passed, the years traveled on, the hopes and the dreams had diminished and gone. But now the child that I face, how familiar she seems. She's wearing my eyes, and she's living my dreams. Oh, my innocent child, I will spare the untruths in the magical days, the sweet candy days, the beautiful days of your youth. Run, child, run, see the sun, and laugh, child, laugh like the wind, and sing, child, sing, child, sing. How about a big hand for Greg? Thank you so much. Happy Father's Day once again.